This is my empty dish, which has been this way for my whole life. I just eat anything and everything in front of me.
Hi, my name is Rafael Calderon. I'm SIFC at Nueva High School. I started coming here at 5 o'clock. And we're here from 5 to 1:30.
How long does it take for you guys to prepare?
3 to 4 hours.
How much food do you think you waste? I don't eat a terrible much, so sometimes I'll drop maybe a quarter of what's on my plate.
A quarter of the plate.
Less than a fourth of the plate.
A quarter to a fifth of the food that I take.
Probably between 200 and 100 grams. I don't waste food, especially if it's like an animal product, because I feel really bad.
I do think we have too much food waste. I notice a lot of people scraping a lot of food into the compost, which is good that we have compost, but it's still a lot of waste. I notice a lot of kids not eating their vegetables.
Let's say a quarter of a plate. It's usually vegetables.
My name is Sarah Koenig, and I'm the Director of Environmental Citizenship at Nueva.
I'm Hayes. I'm a junior, and I am Environmental Club co-lead.
I'm Justin. I'm a senior, and I'm a co-lead in the Environmental Club. I'm Veer. I'm a sophomore. I'm a member of the Environmental Club.
What inspired the Environmental Club to focus on food waste?
I think there's a lot of food waste. Just like if you go during lunch, you can see the amount of food that is wasted. I think they even have to change out the trash bags during lunch multiple times because there's so much food being wasted. And there's just food going in all bins. There's no organization.
Usually, I think that we see a lot of food waste in Nueva, and people taking food in that they're probably not going to eat, and they're not really caring when they just throw it away. And so we've noticed that's something that a lot of Nueva doesn't care about, but is a really big problem. Maybe they somewhat care about wasting food, but then they anyways just do take food that they're not going to eat and then throw it away.
When food waste ends up in the landfill, that produces greenhouse gases, right? That produces methane. And by some statistics, that's 8 to 10% of greenhouse gas emissions is coming from food waste ending up in the landfill.
And alarmingly, according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, in 2020, food waste was responsible for roughly 58% of methane released from municipal landfills, equivalent to emissions from 15 coal-fired power plants.
But also, food waste, if we're growing food and not eating it, that's using up agricultural land, that's creating also greenhouse gas emissions, methane, and it's also leading to food insecurity.
I think a common misconception about food waste is that wasting food doesn't actually matter that much, that food waste doesn't really contribute to climate change, which it does, right? When we waste food, it just goes and sits in landfills and it contributes to CO2 emissions, even if it doesn't seem a lot. Anything that we can do to reduce it is really important.
I think one thing that many Nueva students don't realize is that you can actually ask for, a specific portion of the meal. You don't have to get, every part of the meal every time. You can talk to the cafe staff. You can ask hey, can I actually not have the vegetable? Hey, can I actually not have these tortillas? It enables you to, go seconds, get the food that you want without wasting. And I think it's important that we create more awareness around that.
It's hard to please everybody. At least they can tell us what they want on the plate, and they can ask pretty much whatever they want.
One major thing we're trying to work on is sorting your trash correctly. So, food waste, it gets to go in the compost bin, and then hard plastics and pieces of paper that are not wet or soiled for some reason, those go in the recycling, and then, soft plastics and anything else that might go in the trash, make sure that it goes in the trash and not the compost with the recycling.
All of the lower school students get to learn about farming and agriculture, where our food comes from, how our food moves around in a globalized community. They also are doing a lot of work about thinking about how much food they're eating at lunch and how much they're composting. So they have student green team members who they're second, third, and fourth graders who stand by the compost, recycling, and waste bins during lunch to make sure that all the younger kids are directing their food waste into the right compost bin. So that's really helpful. And something that I think is really interesting is thinking about how much food is served, how much food the kids are taking during lunch.
I guess I picture a waste-free school as centered with care. I think what that means is that students and other community members will show true appreciation for, I guess, the work that has been put into putting this meal on their plate.
From the students to know from my staff their name.
I think for Nueva to be waste-free, there usually needs to be like a lot more thoughtfulness about waste and where it goes and what happens to it after you throw it away. And so a waste-free, Nueva community would really have a lot of emphasis and thought about where the food will go after you're wasting it.
If there is food waste, it needs to go into compost where it can break down appropriately and not put greenhouse gas emissions into the greater atmosphere.
I think the way that individual action can have an impact is when we as a community change together.
No, I don't want your veggies, no. I don't want to give you mine, and no, I don't want to see it in the trash, no. I don't want none of that waste, no. I don't want no scraps. A scrap is a food causing greenhouse gases, filling in the bin so high from the plates inside, wasting food carelessly. No, I don't want no scraps. A scrap is a food causing greenhouse gases, filling in the bin so high from the plates inside, wasting food carelessly.